Welcome once again to the Wholesome Show, the show where every week we sit down for a beer or water or coffee or wine.
Daiquiri.
Yep. Lobster thermidor,
yes,
as we were talking about before,
yes,
with someone interesting. I'm Will Grant.
I'm at Roddle.
Are you really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying on my Twitter handle again. I'm going to see how it works.
Well, as you're mentioning your Twitter handle, Rod Lamberts is brought to you by his Twitter handle.
I am.
Who's the Wholesome Show brought to you by?
We're brought to you by the Australian National Centre for Public Awareness of Science.
Say it without whispering.
I can't. I feel it's very emotional for me. So, and we exist for all your science communication needs, from undergraduate to PhD, and a little bit of consulting, because academics need money.
Who else are we supported by?
The Wigan Pan Beer Emporium, the best beers in the southern half of the known universe. That is undeniable and absolutely true.
Awesome.
That's
Okay.
it, though. No more sponsors yet.
Sponsorship
If you're
done.
listening, Threadbow or any other
Or,
major brewery, that's fine.
Any organs of the ACT government.
Access Canberra, for example.
For the people overseas in our international listeners, that is our local jurisdiction.
And they're full of organs, apparently. I love organs of government.
What else are they?
It's
Department
just such a messy image. Government is a cut open corpse.
All right,
That's
right.
not what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, well, I was going to tell you a story. So I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I did not know that about
No, I
you.
don't mention it very much, except
No,
all the time.
barely comes up.
Once or twice. But I was sitting there in the movies the other day watching Black Panther, and I felt a little bit like Homer Simpson. I was watching the ads before Black Panther came on, and there was an ad for carpet, and there was an ad for what else do they have ads for? But then there was this ad for
restaurants.
Yeah, there was this ads for how healthy is your workplace, and they said call Michael and Christine. And I thought, you know what, I bloody well will.
Let's get them in.
I just thought, you know what, they told me to, and I said I will.
Look, you are a compliant man by nature, and I think that's one of your strengths.
I'm going to introduce you, Rod, here to Michael and Christine from Healthier Work, part of the ACT government here. And I just want to guess. I'm just going to guess that the mission statement of your organisation is probably similar to the title of your organisation. Correct?
Correct.
It's called Keep the Organs Healthy at Work or something.
Healthier Work.
Close enough, yeah.
What are you all about?
So we try to create healthier work environments for staff in Canberra, pretty much.
Only government staff or?
Anyone, yep. Government. We've only just recently opened it up to government, so we're now servicing some public service departments.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
usually it was, before that it was small business, private sector.
Is this workplace health and safety, or is it a broader, like, is it don't use a ladder on top of the forklift, or is it more?
No, it's more health and wellbeing, so physical activity.
And we're there to help you put the health back into your health and safety.
Okay, so health and well-being. How does my workplace make me?
I reckon I know. So you write company songs for people, and then you set up the organisational calisthenics routines for the morning
Correct.
meetings.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
If that's what they want, we tailor
Hey,
it
if
to
that's
suit.
what we did actually do a presentation to Woden Community Service, and they had us along to do their launch, and they all did the Macarena. It was brilliant.
Why not?
Is that an unhealthful behaviour that you're trying to correct, or is that actually positive?
It was a bit of both.
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
Little column A, little column B.
So making workplaces more. I mean, we spend a third of our lives at work.
We
It
do
seems a
half
bit
our
too
waking
much.
hours.
Half our waking hours.
That's a lot. So,
That's too many.
if we can do things in the workplace to make sure we're well supported, then, it means that we're going to be healthier as a whole.
Half our waking hours. That's an aspirational goal for me.
Me too.
I have to work up to that.
I'll get there one day. But are there bad workplaces out there that are very unhealthy? Like, is that toxic workplaces?
Look, I guess
We want names, obviously.
hospitality is a tough one because
Oh, yeah.
you're working in the industry of food and drink, which is historically
And
unhealthy.
shift workers, it's really hard for shift workers and our fire and ambulance staff, all these people that are there to help us, but they're working 24/7, they're working shifts, they're long shifts. It's hard for them to get the same support that a workplace can get if they're working 9 to 5 in the office every day.
Everything's static. You can put some routines in place.
Exactly.
It's pretty hard, I assume, to do some chin-ups if you're driving an ambulance. Like you can't just fit in a few. I don't know, whatever it is that they need to do.
I think you could. I think you can work it in. You got to run between events, you know.
And you might end up in the ambulance.
Running ambulance.
Yes.
So what do you do? Like, do you go in and say, you're all evil bastards, why aren't you doing chin-ups? Here's a checklist of nasty things, and then you walk away in a puff of smoke? Or
So that would be like the easy option.
yeah.
But not you.
No, not us. We go the whole hog. So what we ask is for a workplace to do a scorecard. Now, it is actually called an audit tool, but that's a bit scary.
That sounds very formal and governmental.
Yeah. So we call it a scorecard.
we changed it.
Exactly the same thing.
People are
But
listening to
doesn't
this.
sound
want to be
scary.
Everyone likes scores. We don't like audits.
So we moved it online. So they do 12 questions, and then they get a score, and then we
Are
go
there
along.
prizes?
Sometimes, yeah.
We have got good promo items for workplaces that are committed to changing their environment for the healthier way.
So what are the sorts of items that you're scoring there for a workplace? Is it about chairs or about lunches?
It's more about their environment and some of the policies, I guess, as well they have in place, and their culture in general. So I guess we sort of assess.
Could you do a little assessment on the Wholesome Show workplace right now?
Well, look,
No, let's not do that.
Okay.
beverages aside,
Okay,
Very
drinking at
enjoyable.
work,
If
low
we're-
score.
no.
social
we're-
connections.
Yeah, we're
look,
talking
that's
about
great.
culture of the environment. I mean, like, how do you rank that? You walk in and go, it's not diverse enough, and the boss is a Nazi. I mean,
No, so more the, I guess, the leaderships. It starts with the leadership. So if say, for example, the general manager is sitting at their desk eating lunch every day and not getting away,
That's a no-no?
that's probably a no-no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So sedentary behaviour is probably been on the big increase.
And
in
you
the
know, it
last
means
few
we
years,
could
so-
go in and they're like, oh, but you know, everybody just hangs around and they don't go out for lunch. And it's like, well, do you? Well, no. Well, if you're not leading, then how can you expect your staff to feel comfortable
Yep, fair enough.
to get
Staff,
up, go out for lunch?
if
yeah.
you're standing at your desk and having lunch, is that better?
Slightly, but
So do you reckon you've got to take your lunch hour?
yes.
I hate that. I hate doing my lunch
At
hour.
least get out
Oh, you
away
walk-
from your
Stretch
desk.
your legs.
You walk
so-
to the pub, have a few beers, walk
exactly.
back to
Yep.
work.
We
Yeah.
do say,
Stay
if you're
hydrated.
going to get a coffee in the morning, just walk to the coffee shop. Don't go upstairs. Go to
Yeah.
the one a little further away or something. So
And
Okay.
getting
staff
some activity.
meetings, you know, have your staff meeting that's a 15-minute walk away. So you're all walking there, having a chat, sit down, do your agenda items, and then walk back. You've done
Oh.
half an hour walking.
Walking staff meeting. That's on the
Yeah.
report card.
Yes.
Is that advice or
That's
report
advice.
card?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yep.
so what other sorts of things are you scoring on the report card?
So I guess we sort of look at the activities they've historically done, and usually it's management telling staff what to do, which isn't.
What sort of health and
so
wellbeing?
health and wellbeing,
Yep.
yeah. So walking meetings,
Yep.
things like that. Healthy catering for staff meetings.
Yep, yep.
Having a mentally healthy workplace, I guess. So things in place for support to staff. So if they are going to, if they have day-to-day stresses, where can they go? What can they do? Those sort of things.
So do you have you got psychs on board and that sort of thing, or you use a bit of a checklist?
No, we're more
or-
the conduit to those organisations.
Right.
So we'll give everyone that we go to the workplace, we'll give them the ideas.
And it's
and
all
where to
about
go.
what
Right,
the
right.
staff want and need. So we go in, and if it's over 30 staff, we get them to do an ACT employee online health and wellbeing survey.
Yes,
And
we'll write that down for anyone who wants to do it later.
And the results from that are brilliant. Like, just say if you've got 50 staff, and the survey tells us that 40% of them smoke and 30% want to quit, then we're like, cool. So let's focus on that.
So smoking, traditionally seen as a very individual, not individual choice, but an individual struggle to quit if people are wanting to quit. But you're framing this very much as a workplace thing that we can help together to help people
Well,
quit.
that's the thing. And, if we can, as a workplace, encourage them to help, what we also suggest is that they offer the service to household members as well. Nothing
Yeah,
worse
yeah.
than if you're trying to quit at work and everything's in place to help you, and then you go home and your partner's smoking.
Yep.
Yeah, there's an ashtray at the door,
Yeah.
an ashtray in every corridor.
But if you
yeah.
go and they've done a course together, then 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 because they've got somebody that's not smoking anymore, but also as a family they benefit because there's now a household that isn't smoking.
So who pays for this? Do you guys offer any?
So it's smoking, for example. Some workplaces will subsidise
really?
nicotine replacement therapy. So they'll, if
Really?
someone goes, yeah.
So
just to
how are
support
they
their
doing the
workplace.
budget on that? Like,
Don't know. We leave it up to them.
They're not accountants.
We have some business owners that have offered their staff like $500 to quit smoking.
Are you
because
serious?
They,
So they-
can see the benefit to not having smokers.
You know,
on
for
their
that, I
payroll.
pretend to take it up and then quit. I mean,
there's totally lots of policies around the world that things like that happen. People do take up smoking if
In
they're
order
going
to quit.
In order
You
to
get
quit.
more breaks and things as well.
Yeah.
People see it as getting more
I don't
breaks,
think
that sort of stuff.
we couldn't have.
But
more
still,
breaks than
that's
we
an interesting way of factor. You know, that an individual choice, and yeah, okay, they're taking smoking breaks or something like that. But the employer is saying, $500, this is worth it to me for you to be
Yeah.
healthier.
Yeah,
and
the
that-
return
dead.
return on that investment's more than it. by
Wow.
a
And,
lot.
you know, we
Yeah.
never go into a workplace and say you have to do this. You know, we're not about shaming. We're just about sort of finding out what the staff want and need
No shaming.
and then helping them. Well, it
I'd
doesn't
be
work.
hopeless with you guys.
That's good.
So who pays your bills? Is it your government, fully government paid for?
So the service started in 2011 under the National Partnership Agreement on Preventative Health. So every state and territory across Australia got money to put towards focusing on the health and wellbeing of their citizens.
Yep.
In Canberra, they split the money three ways between schools, workplaces and the community. So we're obviously the workplace arm.
Yeah.
When the federal government changed, they abolished that organisation. So we were on rollover funding. But now the ACT government has seen the benefit of the service. So they've funded us till 2019 to see what we can do in that time, to see if they'll continue funding it. And it's really about, we've got 5 key focus areas: smoking, reducing alcohol, social and emotional wellbeing, nutrition and physical activity.
Wow. There's nothing left. There's nowhere to hide with a list like that, is there?
So what have been some of the big turnarounds that you've seen? Organisations that you've worked with that were previously eating durries for lunch while they're at their desk. Durries is a technical term, international listener. It means
Yeah.
cigarette.
Yeah. That's what the cool kids call them anyway.
Yeah, you
Not
know.
that there's anything cool about smoking.
And all catering is party pies. So what have they turned around, or is it slowly chipping away?
Some of the workplaces, for example, a construction company that we work with, you know, they were like, I don't know, like going in heavy-handed isn't going to work, but we'll happily, instead of 2 cases of beer, we'll get 1 case of light beer and 1 case of normal beer.
Ah,
And
Are they going to say
we'll
like
put-
Chardonnay or something?
slow down.
No one's going to drink it then. And, you know, we'll put salads in with our barbecues and we'll get low-fat sausages. So that was like their initial thing
Yep.
to slowly start to change things. And now, I don't know if they tell their staff or not, but all their sausages are low-fat.
They don't even mention anymore. We're just on the low fat.
You know, like, why
Throwing away a
mention
lot of
it?
salad, though, I'm sure.
They don't do that same organisation don't do Friday drinks every week. They do a Friday breakfast, so there's no, you know.
So you
And
drink
that's the thing,
breakfast?
it's just
Oh,
about
right.
changing it because, you know, you're generally not going to expect to be drinking at breakfast. So,
Not generally.
well,
Generally.
why don't you have your events at breakfast time or at
Yeah.
lunch where it's going to be less expected than having an evening one? Or some workplaces, you know, they used to give alcohol away as raffle prizes. So now they're like, oh, maybe we could give something else. Or, you know, like they'll go rock climbing for their Christmas party.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
An
just
activity
sort of like,
rather than
like small changes.
but also small changes with positive things. You know,
Yeah.
if you focus on look, guys, we're taking away all the good stuff, and you just get really horrible cardboard. It's going to be hard to sell, but if you're providing positive things, you know, say let's go and have fun doing rock climbing, or let's go and have
Exactly.
the delicious other sausages, then maybe have the low fat.
I'm just thinking, I'm just going through a list of our own workplace, not the Wholesome Show workplace, but, you know,
Our
maybe
formal
our
official
our
one,
day
our
job.
sponsorship workplace.
Yeah, we don't need you guys at all.
What?
We have good emotional well-being, except for the people who are stressed. There's no alcohol except when we drink it. We
yeah.
all have to have standing desks.
No, we're good at standing desks. We got that.
That's true, there's a
We
lot
do
of that.
walking meetings.
Yeah, not deliberately, but they do end up that way. A lot of people stand up at their meeting,
Yeah.
usually in fury, but, you know, that's fine. But so do you come in and people go, oh, fuck, here they come, they're going to tell us all the bad things we do, or are you
Well,
actually quite popular?
that's what they think we're going to do, but
Right.
it's more we more just work with them.
You're not
tell
standing
them
in
what to
someone's
do.
office with a clipboard watching them work
No,
for 10
no,
minutes.
no.
I'm
Gosh,
just here to watch you work.
That's what they think. They think
like
we're going to
I
come
like
and
to
audit
watch.
them.
But I've got to say, like some workplace, so we hold mentoring lunches once a month, and it's a chance for so workplace champions. They're the people that we work with to deliver the program.
They're the
their
ones with the clipboard.
workplace.
No?
They're the one that can monitor or evaluate as they choose. But we go along to the mentoring lunches, and like I want to get a job at every one of these workplaces.
Oh.
Like
there you go.
they are just
Yeah.
awesome. You know, like the way they care for their staff, and particularly I think we've got a couple of workplaces that are just amazing, and they're the business owners, and they can see the financial benefit of doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they do it well, and it means that they can keep their good staff, they can attract new good staff. You know, the staff, we had one workplace that said they haven't had a compay claim in 3 years.
Is that a long time?
Yeah.
Depends how big they are. If it's one person, like, no. Me, not on Comcare in 3 years.
I was going to say.
If it's an ACT government department, maybe.
Yeah.
But, you
Yeah.
know, this is like a private business that employs casuals to do
Sharpen knives.
nursing work.
Oh.
You know, so
Yeah.
like they're on their feet,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of physical work.
Yep.
And they claim it towards, partly, healthier work and how they've made sure that they've put the focus of their staff's health and wellbeing above.
But a great way to not only see the health benefits for their staff, but also straight economic benefits. If they're not having to have these claims around, then that's a huge
Exactly.
benefit.
I want to ask the real question. So, what are some of the dumbest things you've seen, or the funniest things, if you can, say so without identifying anyone? Because pretty much everyone in Canberra listens to this podcast, so you just want to be aware of
I
that.
thought it was the case.
Yeah, when have you gone in and gone, oh, good God,
We got some low-hanging fruit here.
I'm going to recommend you don't stand on knives and open fire in the middle of the office, man.
Low-hanging fruit are the awesome ones because, you know, if they've called us in, they're already ready to change.
Yep.
So they come to us and they're like, oh my God, we've got a fundraise and it's always chocolate and it drives us all mad.
Because we eat all the chocolate.
Yeah. And we're like, cool, so let's look at other fundraising options you can do that don't involve chocolate.
So what do you do, like sunflower seeds?
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
Mango.
Mangoes.
Mangoes. Everyone loves a mango tree.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can just imagine that. Oh, well,
Pineapple
fucking pineapple. And what are you going to do with it? I don't really know. So big and spiky, and me without a giant knife. What about non-low-hanging fruit? Come on,
so
don't dob
that-
anyone
well-
in unless you want to.
It's usually them opting into the program. So
Right.
it's usually when they want to see some benefits and they want to try add another string to their bow in terms
Right.
of the staff and what they offer the staff. So, there's usually not any really bad workplaces that we end up going to.
The easiest ones are large ones where they've got somebody in a paid position to look after their staff's health and well-being.
That's
Oh,
handy.
there you go.
And then we're just like, hello.
And they go, cool. You know what I'll
Let's get
do?
some runs on the board.
I'll get some outsiders to come and help, and job done. And they're like, I'm going home, mate.
I am a health facilitator. Like when we have OHS people, WHS, now I get very confused in the terms. I always giggle when we have a little audit because some of the things they recommend I think are hilarious. And I feel like everything's a choking hazard. Like, a desk can be a choking hazard, a power cord can be a choking hazard. That always amuses me. And some of the things they ask you to do are just downright hysterical. I mean, they're just so... I think technical term is anal as hell. And pretty much realistically, they're never going to happen. They're just not. And you nod seriously and you go, thank you for the checklist. And see you in 6 months. And we'll let you tell us all about that again. Sounds like you don't do a lot of that. You actually do practical things that people can do, want to do, and then you get on with it.
So lots of practical things, but we do get the workplace to evaluate how their program's gone in the first 6 months. And when I say evaluate, we call it what do we call it?
What we learned.
How's it going?
How's it going?
What's it
Yeah.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's not a re-audit.
One word. There you go.
Yeah, there you go, on sheet. Fill it
So
in.
it's a, how's it going?
And is the ratings not that good to pretty all right?
Pretty, it's like, we thought we'd get more people attending this because we said who wants to come for a walk on Wednesday, and then no one came. So then we're like, cool. So let's have a chat to some other champions. See what happens.
It's not really strong marketing saying who wants to come. Like I know friends do that with their friends and say who wants to come. Like marketers kind of have to push a little bit more.
Isn't it like you at a meeting? We're going to go on a camping retreat to talk about a bureaucratic
Me
process.
at a meeting? I've never. No, I was the one that stood up in the Vice Chancellor's office once and said, "No, I will not go
will
camping
murder
for the
everyone
team."
in here before I go to this camping
I'm the
retreat.
scream guy. I can't help it.
On behalf of
I go
everyone,
camping.
thank you.
Yeah.
No. I think no workplace should have a
No.
camping retreat.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I would sanction the ACT government having an organisation like yours to say the no camping workplace. Like, unless
there's certain
We'll
bonding you
celebrate
don't
it.
need.
Yeah.
There's bonding you don't need at all.
not at all.
So we had one workplace, and they said like every Wednesday they wanted to go for a walk with everyone, but everyone was like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. And then Wednesday would come, they'd be like, oh, I don't have my shoes.
I would, but I've got thing.
I forgot my sports bag. It's like-
exactly.
It's the German word, the Don Bottervergesser, the one who forgets his sports bag on sports day. So
So we had a workplace full of them.
Yeah. So the business owner was like, righto, bought everyone a pair of trainers and said, you're leaving them at work.
Oh, mine don't
Nice.
fit.
Have to go.
They're the wrong colour.
Yeah.
They clash with my shorts.
You were in the shop.
Yeah, brought the wrong socks with me.
But what do you do with resistance like that? Because clearly they don't want to. Like, this is a coded way of
yeah.
saying I don't want to
So
do this
my
activity.
theory is with any workplace and with any change, change can be scary for lots of people. The more people that are doing it, the more chance you got people to come along. So it's sort of like a river. The
Peer
river's
pressure,
flowing
mate.
along.
Yes.
People are in their boats going along. You try to go upstream, it gets harder and harder. But
Oh,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point, you might be like, oh, I'll just sit on the side. And then you might be like, oh, I'll go give it a go. And then suddenly you find out you're with everyone going along the stream.
It's
That's-
almost
that's
like,
a nice way of
as you
putting
say, peer pressure. A lot
Yeah.
of our other negative health behaviours are like a river as well. If you're in a workplace or a social group where it's all durries and pies, then
Yep, that's what you're going to do.
Where is that workplace? I mean, is there still one?
it's
What do you do? Morning. Great, give me a pie.
you get a time machine and you go back to 1970s Australia. You've got to shovel some asbestos.
Yeah, you got to eat it too, and you got to wear stubbies and thongs. Stubbies, for our international listeners, are fucking short shorts.
But they had a lot of problem with
You might have
fires.
to
though.
explain thongs,
And
as
thongs
well.
are
Oh, yeah, thongs. Yeah, you can wear them under the short shorts, but they're also flip-flops. I love that.
Jandals. Yeah.
Jandals.
That's it.
Jandals brew.
Across the ditch.
All right, so this is fascinating. What's the number one thing that we can take back to our moderately healthy workplace where we're drinking, but because it's the brand of our show, like it's not our fault.
We don't even enjoy it.
Like,
we're
no,
drinking
I'm-
because we have to.
No,
It's a
I'm
sponsorship
forcing this
deal.
down.
It
too.
is. When I said to Michael, look, they want us to go along, we've got to drink beer and do a podcast. He's like, oh, look, Christine, can I do water instead?
I hate podcasts.
I think we both have to go to this.
I hate podcasts.
Isn't it? Only if I can walk there. Whilst eating low-fat sausage.
We have, in fairness, done one or two stand-up podcasts, so we don't always sit.
That's true. 1 or 2 out of 80. It's definitely standing
less
up.
than 80.
1 or 2 out of less than 80 have been standing up.
But that's because one was in a maggot farm, and the other one was in a supercomputer.
Yes.
They didn't have chairs.
Neither of those things are euphemisms.
I don't think I'd want to be sitting down in a maggot farm.
No, you
No,
don't.
not at all. That wasn't my reason, but now I realise I'm very glad that I didn't sit down.
There's something strange hinting.
Maybe that could be a new thing we could offer. Get
Yeah.
maggots into your workplace.
Or a title for this podcast. There we go.
Don't sit in a maggot farm.
But what can we take back to our workplaces?
So there's three sort of key things that you would need to do to get something off the ground. And it starts with the management, so
Yep.
getting their commitment, getting their support and involvement is key. You don't want to have the guilt of going for a walk or a run at lunch and
Management
feel
doesn't care.
guilty
Yep.
doing it. Yeah. Second one is to find your passionate people within who are those ones in that river that are swimming with the current, so they're way ahead down the river. And then the third thing is to get all the information you need from the staff. So get the staff to own the program. And
Oh,
to
you make it look
actually-
like they suggested it.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
it.
So it's
I
got to
got
be
it.
all their suggestions.
Yeah.
As silly as they may be, you got to sort of take them all on board.
And we
but yeah,
sort of we
that's-
make it easy. We go along, we say, look, if you're at a workplace where people aren't going to access computers, then we'll give you a whole list of ideas and just get your staff to tick the ones they want. Then suddenly you've got a really clear picture of what
Yeah.
staff want to focus on,
Yeah.
and then we put that into a 12-month plan for you
Sweet. That's awesome.
for free.
for free.
Oh,
Man,
thank you so
we
much
should
to
do
Michael
this.
and Christine, and also thank you so much to Cinema Advertising that has your name down the bottom.
You know when
I-
they say in the cinema, this works?
You know,
In
it
photos,
does.
yeah.
It literally does. But I just
I
love the
never
Hey, are you
concept of...
looking for a new sponsor?
Oh, we're always in for sponsors.
Yes.
We're very slutty when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yes. Did I say yes yet? Anyway,
Sorry.
but I love the concept of sitting there in the cinema and you've got your name there, Michael and Chris. You know I will.
It personalises
I bloody
it,
will.
really. Yeah.
Awesome. What show has this been, Rod?
The Wholesome Show. I nearly forgot.
Yeah, exactly. We've already said who we're sponsored by, but
Yes.
just remind everyone who
The
we're
Centre for
sponsored by.
Public Awareness of Science, because damn, they're grouse, and the Wigan Pen, because they're also grouse.
Awesome. Well, all of you lot out there, go and have healthy workplaces and swim with your current, not
Yeah.
against your current.
No more cigarettes for breakfast. I want to get my orthopaedic surgery paid for by work.